Hello and welcome. This is Debbie Emerson, and this is the free money clearing that I'm offering. And for those of you on the call, if you would just like to take a moment to just bring to mind some of the things that you would like to clear, set your intention. If you want to, you can type it in the chat, or you can just jot it down or make a mental note. But I find that when I write things down, I like to write things in a notebook. It just kind of brings it into the world, and it helps me to focus more. So just take a moment to get in your mind what you would like to clear and what you would like to receive from today's clearing. So this is going to be a co-creative process, because I'm all about teaching people tools and helping them to empower themselves so that they can you can continue the process on your own with the tools you're going to learn today. So I'm just going to spend the first few minutes helping you to get grounded and teach you a couple tools that'll be helpful in the process we're going to do today. So if you're in a place, which most of you are who are attending this, I'm sure, in a place where you can close your eyes and be comfortable and be safe, go ahead and close your eyes. And of course, if you're listening to this recording in the future, please make sure you're not driving when you try to do this. So go ahead and close your eyes. And I always encourage people to sit to do this work, because I think it's easier to stay awake. So just go ahead and sit comfortably with your back comfortably straight, feet flat on the floor, and you can just rest your hands in your lap or on the arms of the chair that you're sitting in. And just begin to notice your breath. And you don't have to change that breathing, just notice it. And as you put your attention on your breathing, you're just naturally going to bring your energy, your awareness, and your attention into your body a little bit more. And as you're focusing on your breathing, noticing that breathing is flowing into the center of your body. So just go ahead and just allow that breath to carry you inwards. And as you're just noticing your breathing on the out breath, just go ahead and let go of any cares or worries or any to-do lists that you might have for later in the day. Just begin to let all that go. And then I'm just gonna have you imagine a nice big tree trunk. And it can be a tree trunk that's cut off. So you can imagine sitting on that tree trunk. And as you're sitting on that nice big tree trunk, you're just gonna imagine your root chakra energetically connecting to that tree trunk. And then just see that tree trunk extend all the way down into the center of the earth, the very heart chakra of Mother Earth. And you're just going to let that tree trunk connect in there. And as you do, just decide you're going to begin to let anything go that's not yours, that you're going to let anything go that's blocking you around money. And this is just going to begin this process of releasing some of these things we're going to get to here in a few moments. So just let that grounding cord begin to release foreign energy. And just know that this connection to this earth is also going to connect you to that unconditional love of Mother Earth. And if you found that you slid down that tree trunk and checked out the center of the earth, go ahead and come back up. Come right back up into the center of your head, right behind your eyes and between your ears. There's an energetic space there where you can imagine that you are sitting in a nice, comfortable chair in the center of your head. And from that space in the center of your head, just be aware of your crown chakra on the top of your head. And notice that there's a connection. There's a golden cord that connects you to source energy, creator of all that is. Just go ahead and be aware of that connection and decide you're going to strengthen that connection to creator, source energy. So that unconditional love of source energy and that unconditional love of Mother Earth um, is going to come up and meet in your heart area, your sacred heart space. And so in this way, you are actually uniting, heaven and earth. You're also uniting the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So just allow that energy to intermingle and create balance in that sacred heart space. And just allow yourself to let that energy just expand all through your body, out into your energy field. And give yourself a couple of nice deep breaths. And the next thing I'm going to have you do very quickly before we get started, so that we have plenty of our own life force energy to work with, is I'm going to have you imagine above your head a golden sun. And this golden sun is going to magnetize your life force energy from wherever it is. And you're just going to allow that golden sun just expand like a helium balloon being blown up. It's going to expand with your own life force energy. And then you're just going to imagine bringing that golden sun down and through your body, filling up your body and your energy field with your own life force energy. And as you do so, just give yourself a nice deep breath and just notice how beautiful and wonderful your own energy feels. Alrighty. Let's take a moment to check in with yourself, check in with your body. And the next tool that we're going to work with, and I'm going to teach you really quickly here, is just go ahead and imagine in your mind's eye a beautiful rose, whatever kind of rose you like. Just see that rose in your mind's eye in the same way that you would see a memory. And just notice as much detail about that rose as you can. Notice how long the stem is. Notice if there's thorns and leaves on the stem. Notice what color that rose is. And then I'm going to have you go ahead and just imagine that you can explode that rose. Now, if you don't like that idea of exploding roses, here's a second option that you can use. You can imagine a bubble filling up with energy, and then you can imagine that bubble shrinking and popping. So whichever one of those tools you would like to play with, go ahead and do so. And you might want to go back and forth and play around with each one and see which one you like the best. Okay, so again, go ahead and just think about how do you feel right now in present time when you think about money? Just let all those feelings begin to bubble up to the surface, just like turning the heat up on a pot of soup and the bubbles start to pop at the top. So just let all that stuff begin to bubble up so we can begin to release it here. And then what I'd like you to do is just get a sense of that feeling, how you feel around money, and just let a picture appear in your imagination that might represent that the way you feel about money. One of the things I'm seeing is like a ceramic, a cracked pot, a broken pot, and maybe that's somebody's picture out there. But just let something appear that represents your money space right now. And now what I'd like you to do is either create that rose or create that bubble and pop that image of that representation of your current money space into that rose and blow the rose up or pop that bubble. And in this way, we're beginning to drain out and release all that stuff that's kind of mucking up our money space right here and right now. All righty. So the first place we're going to work in clearing some energy here today is the root chakra, because the root chakra has a lot to do with survival, with the programs that we've learned from our family. So again, using that rose or the bubble, we're going to go ahead and just allow any energy around limitations from our families go out into that rose. I'm just going to say rose, but whichever one you're using, just know that you can use what you'd like. So just decide that you're going to let any energy in your space, all that stuff that's bubbled up to the surface around family limits, go out into that rose. And as this rose is collecting up this energy, it's kind of like, once you set your intention, it's going to happen. So you can kind of multitask here. So as that rose is attracting that energy and absorbing it, just notice where you are. And if you've wandered around outside of the center of your head, come back up into the center of your head. It's a nice neutral place to observe this from, so you don't get caught up in the emotions and sucked into the pictures. So just allowing that rose to collect up any family limitations. And now we're going to explode that rose. And as we explode that rose or pop that bubble, you might notice a shift in your energy field. This is a really quick and easy way, very effective way to clear specific energies. And along with the rose tool and the grounding cord in place, you're going to be releasing lots and lots and lots. So the next thing we're going to clear in the root chakra is anything around, it's hard to survive. We have to work hard. And then we just survive. We can barely pay our bills. We can barely make ends meet. And we're worried all the time. So all of that's coming up as I'm calling up that energy, just let it go out into that rose. And just continue breathing. If you find yourself holding your breath, that's an indication that there's some energy coming up that subconsciously, unconsciously, you don't want to be aware of. So just remind yourself to breathe, and your breath will help to move that energy through. Because the good news is it's coming up and it's coming out. So you don't have to push it down and hold it in anymore. Just let it go. And then explode that rose. And then let's go ahead and put up a rose for any limits within society. So anything that says, you were born here, or anything related to society, like any caste system type of stuff. I know we don't have a formal caste system in the Western world where I am, but oftentimes there's like an unspoken caste system that people get caught up in. So any of that limitation around how society put you in a place. Sorry, I'm not finding the words here. Anyway, put all that stuff into a rose. And breathing, letting that energy just go. Using your breath is going to help that energy to kind of release and go out into that rose or that bubble, whatever one you're using. And then explode that rose. So now we're going to put up another rose. And we're intentionally clearing the energy in our root chakra, but wherever it is in your space, just know that it's going to find its way out into that rose. And now we're going to clear anything around religion or religious dogma, anything that says that, you know, it's honorable or it's noble, or you'll go to heaven faster if you don't have money, anything like that that limits our ability to have money, to receive money. And let just all that stuff go out into the rose. And along with that, what I'm noticing is just that concept of you have to work hard. If you don't work hard, you don't deserve money. So just letting all of that go out into that rose. And again, breathing and exploding that rose. So the next piece we're going to work on is clearing any past life pictures that might be hanging out in that root chakra. And the first set of pictures we're going to clear are pictures where you might have felt bad for having money. Maybe you had a lot of money, and maybe you looked around and saw that other people were poor and other people were starving. And so maybe you felt bad, or guilty or shameful. And maybe you've carried some of that into this present time. So go ahead and let all of that energy go out into the rose. And you might get a sense of where these energies are releasing from, along with that root chakra. You might notice them releasing from different areas of your body. And explode that rose. And then go ahead and put up a rose and just decide you're going to release any energy around not having money. So anything from a past life or even from this lifetime where maybe you've been envious or jealous of other people who had money, where you maybe were even angry or resentful, or even hated somebody because they had money. So all of that stuff around those feelings that you might have had at some point in your life, and they might still be hanging out a little bit. Just let all that go out into the rose, because all of that stuff actually cuts us off from the flow of money, because we're all connected. So when we withhold anything from someone else, we're actually withholding it from ourselves. And as we're doing this, you might want to just imagine smiling in a mirror at yourself, or just anything that will help you to feel a little bit more amusement, joy. Because a lot of times as we're clearing these energies, the energies get really heavy. And if you just lift yourself up above those heavy energies and that low vibration a little bit by connecting with some amusement, you're going to be able to release all this stuff a lot easier. So explode that rose that you're working on. And let's take a moment to collect up a gold sun above your heads, like we did in the beginning. So just imagine a big golden bubble, a big golden sun above your head. And it's going to attract your life force energy. And it's just going to fill up very quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time. When we're working with spirit, there's no time, no space. Now just bring that nice big gold sun in and through your body, filling up all of the aspects of your physical body, all of your energy channels and chakras, just replenishing yourself with your own energy. Because as we release all these foreign energies by using this rose tool, we're creating lots and lots more space for us to be there. So let that sun fill you up from head to toe. And then we're going to move on, and we're going to do some clearing around the heart chakra. So the heart chakra has a lot to do with unconditional love, loving ourselves, loving others. And of course, if we as I was saying a moment ago, we're all connected. So how we feel about one, we feel about the many, actually. So just go ahead and put up a rose for anything that's separating you out from you in that heart chakra. Anything that's separating you or cutting you off from that unconditional love. This is really where we connect to that unconditional love of Source. So just let anything that's blocking you or cutting you off from allowing you to be connected and to fully have that unconditional love for yourself. Go ahead and let that go out into the rose. And explode that rose. And go ahead and put up another rose for any energy where you're withholding anything from yourself, where you're not allowing yourself to have, where you're denying yourself. And along with this, any of that religious dogma again about how noble it is to deny yourself and to suffer, any of that that's coming up, just let that go out into that rose. And again, connect with that amusement. And breathe. And explode that rose. And then let's go ahead and create another rose for any judgment or criticism towards yourself or others. Because what does that do? That separates us out, right? It creates a I'm better than you are, or you're better than I am, or whatever. It creates that dichotomy, that polarization. So go ahead and let any energy around separation or polarization go out into that rose. And you might get a sense, a lot of you are probably seeing this rose as it fills up, or the bubble, whichever one you're using. And just let that rose get nice and full, nice big fat rose, and then explode it. And when I explode my roses, I like to see like fireworks. It just makes it more fun. And the more fun you can have with this, the better it works. All right, so go ahead and just say hello to the center of your head, that space behind your eyes, between your ears. And just say hello to that grounding cord. And by saying hello, it's just a way to kind of reinforce and reestablish that connection. So say hello to your connection to Source Energy, creator of all that is. And now I'm going to go through a list, actually quite a long list of different things to release. And some of these are requests that you all put on the Facebook page. So the first thing we're going to do is put up a rose, and this rose is going to collect up anything around needing money to make money. That old saying, you need money to make money, or people who have money, have more money or make more money. So anything around that comes up for you, go ahead and let it just be sucked up into that rose, just magnetized to that rose. Anywhere it is in your body, your physical body, your energy bodies, anywhere in your aura, doesn't really matter. You may be aware of some of the areas that it's releasing from, you may not. It doesn't matter, it's still working. So go ahead and explode that rose. And I'll actually put this list, when I post this recording, I'll put this list, a document along with it, so that you can go back through and continue clearing more of these energies if you'd like. So go ahead and put up a rose now for money is the root of all evil. Just any energy around that comes up for you. We're all different, so we all have different images and thoughts usually with different words. So anything around money is the root of all evil. So let all that stuff go out into the rose. A lot of punishment being released. All righty, and explode that rose. And now let's put up a rose or a bubble, whichever one you're working with, for having to work hard for money. Just all those concepts about having to work hard for money. You know, you can't get paid if you haven't worked hard. You haven't proved that you worked hard. So all that stuff around having to work hard for money. Just let it go out into that rose with a little bit, for a lot of amusement. And again, just breathing. Breathing is always good. And as that rose is collecting up that energy, I'm noticing a lot of heaviness in the heart area. So everybody just decide that all that heaviness is going to bubble to the surface and be released as we continue this clearing. So go ahead and explode that rose with all that energy about having to work hard for money. And let's put up another rose or a bubble for um, anything around having the amount of money you are able to earn be a reflection of your worthiness or your status. So, in other words, you're worth more if you make more. So, anything around that, anything that comes up for you, let that go out into the rose of the bubble. And breathing to help that energy move along. And if you have some water nearby, I would encourage you to sip water as we go here, as we're moving lots of energy. And explode that rose. And the next rose we're going to create is for nothing coming in. So clearing all that energy around no money's coming in. And anything that's blocking our ability to receive money. Just let all that energy, whatever it is, wherever it is, you might have some thoughts or emotions or pictures come up. Just notice them and go, oh, that's interesting, as they go out into that rose. And I may have forgotten to mention this, but all this stuff you're releasing isn't yours. We carry around thousands and thousands, and probably more than that, millions of pictures that are not even ours. All kinds of little mental image pictures that have oftentimes an emotional charge and programming in them that we carry around in our energetic space, and they affect us to one degree or another. So all this stuff you're releasing is not even yours. And anything that is yours, you're not going to lose the memory of it, but you're going to de-energize the picture so it won't influence you or affect you. So go ahead and explode that rose. And then we're going to put up a rose for feeling like a victim of the universe. Just feeling like a victim. Feeling like a victim of other people, a victim of circumstances, a victim of our upbringing, whatever it is, just any of that victim energy, because that energy keeps us really, really stuck. So just letting all that go out into the rose. And again, just connecting with that inner smile, that inner amusement. You might even want to imagine sprinkling some amusement on that rose, helping that energy to lighten up. And explode that rose. And then we're going to create a rose for having to working really, really hard and never making enough to make ends meet. I think we worked on something similar to this, but it won't hurt to do it again. So working hard and not even having enough money to pay your bills. So just let all that stuff go out into the rose. Simple, easy, no effort. I forgot to remind you, no effort. This is all about intention. It really is all about just letting it go. You can imagine just all that energy, just kind of tossing it in that rose like a hot potato or something that's fun for you. And explode that rose. And then create another rose or bubble, whichever one you're using, and let's release any shame around not having enough money, any shame around money at all, not having enough, having too much, whatever it is. Go ahead and let all that shame related to money go out into that rose. And explode that rose. And the next rose we're going to create, we're going to collect up any energy around not being worthy of having wealth or needing to be worthy to have wealth. So anything about self-worth and wealth, just let it all go out into that rose. And explode that rose. And the next rose, we're going to release anything around people taking your money, struggle around money, and anything that blocks the flow of money into your life. So if I have money, people will take it. I have to struggle for money. And I'm just sometimes, jumping in the way and keeping that money from coming to me, because money wants to come to you. So just let all that stuff go out into the rose. In fact, I was having a conversation with the energy of money before this call, and money was so excited. It's so excited that we're doing this clearing because it wants to come to us. So go ahead and explode that rose. And I think this is a repeat kind of, but we're going to do it again. Having to exchange a lot of time for money. So create a rose or a bubble for having to exchange a lot of time for money. There's a lot of programming about that in our world. You have to work 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week or whatever. If you only working 20 hours a week and you're making $1 million a year, you can't do that. So all those limits, any of that stuff, just let all that garbage go out into that rose. And explode that rose. And then we're going to create a rose for feeling guilty about not being able to support yourself. Hey, I'm 50 years old and I can't support myself. So whatever that is for you, go ahead and let all that stuff go under the rose. And explode that rose. And then we're going to create a rose for being financially dependent upon someone else. So that's kind of linked into not being able to support ourselves. So anything around feeling bad and feeling less than because you're dependent on someone else financially. Anything around being controlled or not having control, just let all that go out into the rose. And explode that rose. And then let's create another rose for that's going to clear any energy that's blocking our ability to be financially independent. So anything that keeps us from actually aligning with our talents, aligning with all the information that we have as eternal beings who have got lots and lots of experience. We know how to take care of ourselves. So anything that's telling us that we don't, let all that stuff go out into the rose. And explode that rose. And we're going to create another rose for giving too much, like giving things away for free and and not requiring people to compensate us with money. So all that stuff that keeps us from being able to receive money, to have money, to ask for money, especially to ask for money. So go ahead and let all that stuff go out into the rose. And this is clearing all the levels. These rose tools, you don't necessarily have to know what or where it's clearing. You may, as I said a few moments ago, get more information as the energy is releasing into the rose, but it's just a matter of just clearing all this foreign energy. All right, so go ahead and explode that rose, and just any and all blocks to receiving money. Put up a rose or a bubble for any and all blocks to receiving money. Any place where sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Sometimes, money's trying to come to us and we're like, no. So anything for you, any blocks to receiving money, let it go out into that rose. And explode that rose. We're going to do one last rose, and I'd like you to put this rose or this bubble up, and it's going to fill up with anything that is affecting your, what I call haviness, your ability to have money. We probably all have been aware of people who have received huge amounts of money. Maybe they've won the lottery, and so they may have some happiness for receiving money, but they don't have happiness for keeping the money, because a lot of those people, a couple of years later, they're broke or they're worse off than they were. So this rose is going to help us to clear anything that keeps us, that interferes with our ability to have money and to keep money, or keep the flow going. It's all about flow, things, the money coming in, the money going out. And, the other end of where we hold on to money and hoard money or hoard anything just stops the flow also. So just being able to know that there's an unlimited source, unlimited supply of money and all the things that we desire and require. So clearing any energy that says otherwise. Clearing all that lack and limitation, just letting it all go out into that rose. And exploding that rose. So now, again, we've released lots and lots of energy. We've created a lot of space, a lot of room in your energetic space. So we want to fill that up with our own energy. So imagine that golden sun above your head. And just let that golden sun get bigger and bigger. And along with your life force energy, just decide, ask yourself, what color is money for you? What's the vibration of money for you? Then the first thing that comes to mind, the first color, go ahead and decide you're going to put that color into the gold sun along with your life force energy. So you're going to bring in the vibration of money along with your life force energy. And you're going to go ahead and bring that gold sun in now, and your life force energy is going to begin to vibrate with that vibration of money. And of course, where we vibrate is what we attract into our world, into our awareness. So you're going to be vibrating with that high vibration of money. And go ahead and bring that gold sun in and through, filling yourself up from head to toe, letting that energy expand out around your body, filling all the layers of your aura, all the parts of your energy bodies. And one last thing I'd like you to do to kind of anchor this all in is just imagine let it, in your imagination, let a picture appear that represents how you want your relationship with money to be, how you want to experience money in your life. So for instance, when I did this, I saw a waterfall, and there's this beautiful waterfall up in Northern California, and it's fed by a spring, and it has thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of water that flows over this, into this waterfall. You know, I don't know, I can't remember the exact statistics, but it's like a huge amount of water. So my image was this waterfall of this unlimited supply, you know, coming up from the earth, this spring of water just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing into my life, representing money. So whatever that works out to be for you, just go ahead and either, if you have a way to jot it down now, go ahead and jot it down, or just remember it and maybe make some notes afterwards. Go ahead and just kind of anchor in your money space the way you would like it to be. And you might want to just bring this image to mind, or you might want to draw a picture of it or find a picture and just take a look at it once a day or a couple times a day, and just begin to match more and more this unlimited abundance, this unlimited flow of money into your life. And give yourself a couple of nice deep breaths, and you can open your eyes, look around, come fully back into the space where you started from. I hope you enjoyed this clearing. I found it to be a lot of fun, and so happy you joined me. Those of you who joined me live, and those of you who will listen to the recording. I'm going to try to post this on YouTube, as well as posting the link for the recording in the Facebook group. And I'd also like to invite you to join me for the healing meditation this coming Thursday, where we're going to continue to do some clearing work around money. And we're going to go into the Akashic records and clear some contracts and vows and things like that. And we're also going to do a little more work with clearing our relationship with money. So if you'd like to join us on Thursday, that information will be in the group. And then coming up on September 28th, I'm teaching a class called Kickstart Your Psychic Abilities. And this is a 2-hour class that no matter where you are on your path, it should give you some tools that will help you to be able to access all of your psychic abilities a little bit more, and especially your clairvoyance. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will get this recording posted in the next little bit.